Hello, hello, hello. Happy Monday night. Hope everyone had a wonderful day. Some of you might have even had the day off and you got to do some fun things, I hope. But it's the start of a great new week and I'm super excited. We have a simple for you tonight, but there's a couple things that I want to tell you. So as soon as you come on in, let me know so I know that you're here. In case you missed it, Valentine's Day was my 3-year anniversary with Stampin' Up. And because of that, I offered you a free class to enroll in. And it's an SVG class using the Heartfelt Bundle. And I just want to make sure that you got it. Because tomorrow night at 7 o'clock, we are in our Zoom classroom, not here on Facebook. We're in the Zoom classroom with the free class that goes with that. Robin, hey, haven't seen you in forever. Hope all is well. Okay, so how do you find that? You are going to go to karamiller.com. You're going to click on Classroom, and you're going to see this picture. And up at the top, you're going to see where it says Classes, and you're going to click on that. And when you come in, you will see this one, Heartfelt Bundle Workshop. You're going to click on that. It is free, and you're going to want to enroll. And when you enroll, you will see the supply list of what I'm going to use and some extra things that you might want. Your SVGs are right here. You'll see there are 4 of them. There are 4 2-page layouts. And then you will also see link to my live classroom. And you'll click on that. And there is a link right here for you to click on. And that will take you into the Zoom classroom. So this is tomorrow night at 7 o'clock Eastern. So you're going to want to bring your simples and your photos. Or if you don't have everything gathered, you can just come. The class will be recorded and you can watch it later. Okay, so that's my free gift to you for saying thank you for 3 years of Stampin' Up awesomeness with all of you. So be sure that you enroll in that. Even if you can't come live tomorrow night, you will at least have the class to refer to as long as you've enrolled. This is open to anybody that would like to. It is my free gift to everyone. So, okay? All right, so there's that. The next thing I want to tell you about is also in here in the classroom. When you're in here, you will see that this is the free one, and I hope everybody's in here. That's the one where all our Facebook Lives are. This, under the umbrella, is one of the brand new workshops I talked about last week. They are available with everything that you need, from the stamp set, you name it, it's in there. And if you click on that and go read all the details about it, you can see you can either enroll with just the files and the class, or if you want everything and you don't want to have to worry about ordering it, you can do it that way. Okay? So you have 2 choices. If you want just the files and the class, it's $15. If you want everything, if you click on that, you can see exactly what you're going to get. So you won't have to buy packs of cardstock. You will get just the cardstock that you need to create our layouts. Okay? All right. Enough of that. Back to me. You did, Susan. Awesome. Okay. So tonight, there is a free simple. And again, that's in that one that says 2020 live classes free. The ones that I offer in Facebook are there, along with the class recording, along with the supply list. So you can definitely get to simpling even if you're in there. And if you've not been and seen me live before and you're wondering, what is this woman talking about? Basically, simples are an SVG that you cut with your Cricut, your Silhouette, your Brother Scan and Cut, some SVG die cutting machine of your variety. And what they do is they create both the photo mat and the template for your page. So it makes everything, well, simple. Let me show you. This is the one we're using tonight. So what I've recently done, so excited, is figured out how to do this on 8.5 by 11s and still get enough photos. The reason I'm excited about the 8.5 by 11 idea is twofold. One, Stampin' Up! Has way more cardstock options in color in the 8.5 by 11. Also, there's nowhere near as much waste of your paper with the 8.5 by 11. So notice once I take this out, this is the simple with room for 1, 2, 3, 4 photos and a title. And this is what's left over. And this will be used to cut some images with my dies. It will be used, it'll go to my scrap pile. It's perfect for stamping sentiments. So I'm not going to waste this Whisper White. I'm going to use these pieces. What I suggest after you've taken your simple away is tear these little pieces off. So then it just becomes something that will fit in the drawer. Okay, so then you've just got this to deal with. And that can go in your drawer. You can also take your snips and you can kind of get rid of this piece. Probably isn't good for anything. That would work out better. You know, kind of clean it up a little. And then this, kind of the same idea. All right. So this goes into my, I might need to stamp on these later pile. That for me, I save, and then eventually I go through and say, well, this is silly. Why did I save this? And I throw it away. But in the meantime, I feel really good that I have not thrown away and wasted paper. Okay, so there's my simple. It doesn't have to be Whisper White now because this size will fit on anything. I am then going to put this on a piece. This is from Bird Ballad Designer Series paper, which is one from the spring catalog, and I'm just feeling like we need spring here soon. It's a 12 by 12 normally. I cut this to 8.5 by 11, which means that I end up with a super piece, I've already used part of it, that is 3.5 by 12. This is awesome for a card front if I needed a card. It's also terrific to use on another layout. So let's say I only had one piece of paper. I could use a piece of, I'm going to flip this over, and I could say, all right, well, I'm going to do a simple on page 2. I want a double page layout, but I only had one sheet of paper, right? Well, I'm going to use this little piece, and I'm going to cut this to, I'm just going to cut this straight down. I used it, I'll show you what I used it for after. We're going to use it on that layout. And I've only got this piece, right? Well, that's okay. I'm just going to tie these two together, and I'm going to pop this in right here, and I'm going to cut another simple, maybe one that's not so many pieces. This, I only designed a one-page layout for this, but I could do this, and I could pop this simple over here. Maybe I'm going to cut this simple out of Petal Pink. So many options, right? So don't throw that little piece of paper away. That's a big piece of paper, and that's going to come in super handy. You're never sure what you're going to do with that one either. So for tonight, this is the layout that we're going to work with. Now again, if you haven't seen simples before, you might be wondering, my photos don't look like that. My photos come out and they look like this. This is printed with my Canon selfie printer that I love, love, love. But this gives me a 4x6 photo, which is the way you get most of our photos. Hey, Roz. Hello, everyone. I see a bunch of you coming in. So I get a photo that's 4x6, right? Okay, cool. Well, that's great. But this particular page layout, I've got a few photos printed. This is actually Easter. But, you know, we're going to print, we're going to get them done. Oh, that's one more thing I wanted to tell you too. I knew I had a couple of things to tell you about. Please do not feel like you need to create and scrap your simples in any order. You don't. Find some photos that make you happy on your phone. Get them out of your phone, print them up, and then do a layout with them. Don't think that, oh my gosh, I have like 7,331 photos on my phone and I haven't done anything. It's okay. It's okay. There's no race. There's no deadline. You do what you do. So just take it easy and let's get some done, okay? So this particular layout will take 4 by 4 photos. I'm going to show you how that's going to work. And 2 by 2 photos. Okay, yes, they're little, but you know what? You'll be surprised what you can actually get out of a photo. All right, so I cut this one first already. You might have seen this one before. It is one of my favorites of Lucy. And then the other photo I want to use is this one, that even though they aren't holding hands, they're on the swings together, right? And I kind of like that. So this is the simple toolkit. If you don't have one, they are available on not my Stampin' Up site. These are for me, not Stampin' Up. And these simple toolkits come with a pair of long bladed scissors, and they come in a case. Let me find one. Here's one. The Clear Mount Stampin' Up case, and these fit in here great. So they're perfect to just throw in your bag when you're going to go. I usually lose at least one. I am missing the 3.5 one. Somewhere on this table, we'll find it in a minute. There's 4 of these clear acrylics and 1 pair of scissors, and they fit right in here, right? And then I just throw that in my tote. So this is called the Simple Toolkit, and it literally is that easy. So I need the 4 by 4 for this one, and then I need another 4 by 4 here, and you can always tell by just popping down your template to see what fits on it. So I'm going to put this on, and I figure out what part of the photo I want to see. I'm going to raise it up just a little bit above because I want to make sure that you can see this is the top of a fence and that they're not behind some wall somewhere. So I want to see that it's a fence, but I still want their shoes. And I'm going to, yes, I'm cutting my photo. Oh my heavens. Horrors, right? And now our ladies are ready to go. I'm going to grab my snail. Whoops, not that snail. I'm not. How about this one? And notice it's not attached to my background paper yet. I'm not going to do that until I get my photos on, because I feel like that's the paper that I want, but you never know. So the whole idea of Simples is to give you a frame, a photo mat around your photo, and it also gives you a layout all set up so I don't have to worry where things are going to go. Did I measure this? Is this straight? Does it fit right? I just have to pop it on there, right? Okay, so then I have these two. And you're thinking, well, they're really tiny. I don't know. What would you possibly do on that? I have this picture. I have another picture somewhere. Where did it go? Of Lucy. I have Lucy and Grace. And I like this photo because they're together. But I don't really like that this person's hand is in here. But even thinking a 2 by 2, I'm still going to get their faces and their hair, and I'm not going to get that sketchy hand that's in the photo. And I didn't have to use Photoshop or anything. Again, I'm just going to chop it off. Chop. You're holding it down with your thumb, which is holding the picture in place. So and you're using the long blade scissors, so it's usually just a chop. And you get one great photo. And that's going to go right here. Right? Okay, so now let's clean up our mess. And now I have room for one more. So I'm going to look at this other photo that I have and see, this is not a great picture of Grace, but it's pretty cool of Lucy. And if I do this and you're thinking, boy, I don't know, that's Jack giving her whole face. Where do you see how cool this looks? And again, it's all going to depend on your photo and what you have. But that's really cute, even though it's just her face, right? And that's going to go right here. Now, I didn't do anything fussy when I printed these photos. I just printed them just the way they are. I didn't crop them. I didn't try and do anything fancy to them. I just went ahead and printed them, okay? So I really like the way this looks. One of the reasons I sometimes hold this before I put it down is I will take some ribbon, and I don't think this petal paint goes. I don't think this is the right one. Oh, it does. The beauty of Stampin' Up! Is that your colors all match, right? So you don't have to worry about that. I'm going to take this ribbon, and I'm going to use this technique that we've used a gazillion times. You wrap it around your pen and double knot it. And it's going to give you this great little bow that's going to add to my photo. And you just slide it out. And I don't know if I want that there, there. I think I want it there, the bow part. So I'm going to take this, and I've shown you this technique before, but it really adds so much to what you're doing. I'm going to use my Take Your Pick and my mini glue dot, and I'm going to pop it right here on the bottom of the knot behind my bow. All right, so then I get it exactly where I want it. And I'm going to put this right here and glue it down, and you're thinking that just looks crazy. Give me a minute, it's going to look good. And then I'm going to flip this over, take a little bit of snail on that, and a little bit of snail. Okay, and then I'm going to take my snips and on a diagonal cut through that loop, and then I have this awesome little bow as a photo corner, right? Super cool. All right, so now I'm going to flip this baby over, and I'm going to go ahead now. These aren't going to matter. I'm just going to stick them down so they don't get floppy in my way. And I'm just going to put some snail on the back. And you don't have to do a ton. And then flip this over. And so this is what I have to line up. And I just have to look at my edges, make sure that it's even on either side. The dots on the paper help me. And then pop it down. Layout's done. I don't have to worry that everything's where it belongs, that it had to get measured. Hate that part. Now I'm ready to decorate it. So one of the things you kind of saw I'd used part of, I took this piece of paper that was left, and I am using Grace's Garden, because it's Grace, right? I haven't found a Lucy one yet. And I took, oops, this is the Gate die. This is the Grace's Garden bundle. And I just did the bottom. So I took this and I set it like so and ran it through my machine. So then I end up with this super cute little gate. And I'm going to put this right down here under the photo. I could put it under this one, which would be kind of cute too. or I could put it on my sentiment. Now, because I really like the way this looks, and I really don't want to hide my photos, I am going to put it up here, but that's going to go last. First, I'm going to do this flower trellis, and remember I have these pieces. Okay, let's stamp that on a piece, just like so, and I am going to use, I want to show you. So you've got this paper, you love it, and you're thinking, well, what color ink should I use? Well, remember, look on the back. It tells you, of every pack of paper, it tells you. So this one uses Petal Pink, Calypso Coral, Crumb Cake, Daffodil Delight, Soft Suede, Basic Gray, Old Olive. I think I am going to use Petal Pink, which is really kind of pale, but it's going to look fine for these flowers. So we're going to grab some Petal Pink. What I love about doing this is it lets me not only scrapbook, but it lets me stamp too. So I get to use all my favorite stamps and dies and my scrapbook and my Cricut. I mean, really, it's all my favorite toys all in one. Now you notice that that comes out pretty pale, right? But it's okay. And I'm going to take my Petal Pink Stampin' Blends, and I'm going to go over my flowers. Now, you would not normally use regular ink to color with, but because it might cause the ink to bleed, but because I'm using the same color, I can get away with it, and I'm really not coloring very much. I'm just kind of shading in a little, and then I'm going to grab Old Olive. Whoops, sorry. Oh, you didn't notice that. I just hit the camera, but it was the other camera. Then I'm going to take my Old Olive, and I'm going to give this a little bit of some leaves. Now, this is the fine point marker, and you notice you actually have to color a lot more with the fine point. If you go with the one that's more like a brush, it's actually easier and quicker because you're just kind of dabbing ever so little. You're just adding a little color. It's not like, you know, it's super fussy or anything. Okay. And then let's zoom you in a little so that you can see. And then in my bundle, I have this that's going to let me cut this out like so. And then remember, I use these same things all the time, but sometimes somebody might be new, so I'll mention it. These are little post-it flags. Whoops, I'm not even under the camera, sorry. These are little post-it flags, and I just tuck them down. I leave them stuck on the side of my Big Shot, and they hold the die right in place so that if it were to move around, it's not gonna lose what it's doing. All right, take my flags off and put them back. Now I have that. So pretty. And that is going to go right here, right? But I'm going to use my mini dimensionals on that. Now, a lot of times people will say, well, if I'm going to use the Cricut, why don't I do it all with the Cricut? You could, but I will tell you that using the dies gives you such a different feeling die, and it's really hard to show you here, but when you run this through the Big Shot, this die ends up getting kind of rounded edges. The die kind of curls the edges under. It just makes it so much more fancy, I guess is the word. I love the way the dies come through the machine, as opposed to the way they feel when you run through the Cricut. They both have great purposes. They truly do. Okay, so I'm going to pop this under here. You can stamp first if you want, or you can go ahead and, that's not the right one. Where's my, I know I tried this out already to make sure that it would fit. Oh, here it is. No, it's not. Well, now, I have, oh, hold on. They stuck to my arm and fell on the floor. Like, wait, I know I had more stamps here. This one says, with all my heart, which is absolutely perfect for these ladies. These are my granddaughters. So with all my heart's going to go right there. The petal pink is not really going to show the way I want it to do. So I'm going to take the basic gray and I'm going to stamp it in gray because the black would be a little harsh, I think, since we're staying with all of our pastellies here. The pastel family, when I first joined Stampin' Up, that was the color family that I picked first. They tell us that it's recommended that you pick a color family and stick with it. That way you're not all over the place and things coordinate. And I just love the pastels. They're actually called subtles. So there's With All My Heart. And then, remember I have I have this. Okay, there's a little piece down the middle that I'm going to open this gate, but in the meantime, I'm going to put it right here. And then we're going to open the gate to read it. Okay? So, I'm going to take some tear tape because this is going to get used. I'm hoping people are going to open it to read it, or I'm going to fold it open before I put it in my book. So action things don't necessarily work really well with scrapbook pages, but you know what? We can. It's our book. The other thing that you should think about is putting these into a frame and putting them on display for a little bit. Instead of hanging those photos on the refrigerator, don't go look at my refrigerator right now. There's a lot of photos out there. Instead of hanging the photos on the refrigerator, why not get a cute little frame and then change up your photos every now and then. Make yourself a layout. So you might be thinking, I don't scrapbook. Okay, don't. How about if you put your photos in a frame and you hang it up in your house so that other people can enjoy it and you can enjoy it? That's what you do, instead of just sticking it on the fridge. All right, that's going to go, whoops, I want to tuck you under there. And I want to tuck you under there. Okay. And then I'm going to take my snips and I'm going to, now why didn't I cut it first? Because then I would have had to line up and make sure it was straight. This way I know it was straight before I started. And then I'm going to fold this back just a little so that you can kind of peek in and see it. And then if I need to do more, there are so many more things that I could decorate with. There are great little flowers that would look really pretty down here around the bottom of this page. All right, so let's move you over here and let's grab our flowers. We have 3. So we're going to make our own little embellishment in this corner. So I'm going to take this, again, these scraps of paper, right? And I'm going to take my stamps and I'm going to use my petal pink because I don't really want the lines to show up. I want it to be kind of subtle. Here's that, and here's this. Okay, so while I'm doing this, I'm here this week, and then Sunday we leave on our family vacation for a week, so I won't be here next week. March 1st is when we come back, which is a Sunday, and I will be back on Monday with a Facebook Live. Now, you know, I have girls. Kathy, you have a grandson, so this may not be the color choices for you. But you could still do the same idea, just pick different colors. And same idea, and I'm not going to color all of these because we'll be here all night, and you might lose patience watching me. But again, it goes way quicker if you use the little brush end. Now, if you don't have any blends, you can grab your watercolor pencils. They would do great too, and color with that. Stampin' Up! Markers would work for this because they're little. The areas that you're coloring, they don't work, I don't think they work very well to do really big spaces because you tend to get streaks. If you're a colorer, the blends are awesome to work with, and they're so much easier to work with than other coloring alcohol markers because they come in a light and a dark. So you don't have to worry about various shades or whatever. You just make sure that you get the light and the dark and you collect them that way. I said I wasn't going to do it all, but honestly it went pretty quick, so I ended up doing it all. And as you can see, I'm not being fussy. I'm really not. I'm just laying down color because these aren't like perfect images. All right, so once I get this done, then I'm going to grab the little dies. That are part of my bundle. Let's see, we have this one, and this one, and this one. Scrap paper, wasn't going to do anything special with it. And a flag. This is how these guys come. They're little from Post-it notes. I love them. Because this stuff would be jumping all over. Even though I'm using a magnetic plate underneath, they still would be jumping. I don't know why I can't ever get them to stay exactly where I want, but they do now. They don't dare move. And run these through. And because I didn't have to mess with making sure that the layout was straight and not crooked, I have time to play and really make it pretty. And still not spend a ton of time. So these guys are going to go right down here. And I'm going to grab more dimensionals. These are the mini dimensionals, which work great. I could use both sizes on this one, but put you right there. And you, whoops. So we're going on a cruise, leaving on Sunday out of New Jersey. No, we aren't going to get sick. We're going to be fine. It's my mom's 88th birthday while we're gone. So my sister's meeting us, and Sarah and my son-in-law Bob and Grace and Lucy. So there's 3 cabins and my husband. And we are off for a week to Bermuda. No, Bahamas. I've said that like 4 times wrong. The Bahamas and Florida. All right, so there is my layout. And I still have enough left over to do a card if I want. Or if I decide, boy, I need another layout, I still have enough. Right? Super easy. Super cute. Now, Kathy, I happen to know that you are a 12 by 12 scrapbooker, and you might be thinking, the 8.5 and 11 is just not enough for me. Well, let me show you what you could do. If you took this and you added it to a 12 by 12, and you have room to do a title down here, or you could just center this right in the middle and let the colors pop from both sides, right? So don't feel like, oh, I don't know. And in the meantime, you can change your simple to a gazillion other colors that you can't do with Stampin' Up! Paper. And I am completely spoiled now. When I try and cut another company's paper with my Cricut, I am so not happy. I don't ever have to worry that this doesn't cut through or that my mat's not sticky. It doesn't leave my mat dirty. I've cut and cut and cut with this mat, and it still looks perfectly fine. I've cut black cardstock. I've cut red, green, blue, you name it, and I've not done anything to it. And I just stick it back under my Cricut, and it's super, super clean, no problem. All right. Awesome. So this simple is in the classroom for you so that you can try this yourself and see what you think. And the new workshop is in the classroom. The blah, blah, blah. Yeah, English. I can't speak today. The one that launches March 1st. That one is using the Under My Umbrella bundle. So, and remember, tomorrow night is the free class for those to say thank you for my 3-year anniversary with Stampin' Up, and I will see you all then. Make sure that you enroll so that you can see me, because it won't be here. It's going to be in the Zoom classroom. Bye.